everyone. Welcome to Zion Culture, and this is El Turk. My name is Mary, and I'm here to take you on a journey with your health. And just another word is many of the things you hear here is not what you don't know, but you know how they say that sometimes you need to be told again for it to stick better. Today I'm going to be talking about and debunking some health myths that we would I call them health myths entirely. Maybe not really, but these are things we grew up hearing from our parents and it worked for them, but now what's going on? Are they really scientifically proven? Let me start with this. So I like to share personal stories because I know growing up, I most of the time did not like taking PAP because my mom then would have had it some apps she felt like was going to help me maybe if I was having malaria or something like that. One of the health myths, or I'm very careful about calling them health myths because they are, some part of them are true but not scientifically proven, and that's why it's like, okay, things that I grew up believing but are not exactly what we think they are. For example, bitter leaf cures everything. Hmm. Does it? Yes, even as an adult, sometimes I reach out to my mom and say, "Hello, mommy, I think I'm feeling a little bit funny." My mom would go to, "Should I help you squeeze bitter leaf and bring it to you? You'll be fine in 2 minutes." I'm like, how does that even happen? That's the truth. Now, many people, even as I'm saying this, they are saying, no, 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 you can't tell me this. It worked. The moment I squeeze bitter leaf and I drink it, I am fine and I'm back on my feet. That might work for you. But the truth is, bitter leaf water does not cure everything. That is why we have hospitals. Yes, we have most of these traditional things that are passed on to us that really worked for people. But in this present age and time, they work sometimes, but not all the time are they, working or effective. That's the word, effective. So as it stands right now, we need to debunk some of these things that we've grown up believing that is of benefit to our health, or things we believe they are, but they aren't. Number one is bitter leaf doesn't cure everything. Bitter leaf has its own health advantages, but it's not the cure to everything. I have headache, I'm squeezing bitter leaf. I have malaria, this. Typhoid, that's. No, it doesn't work that way. The other one is when people believe high blood pressure is only for elderly people. No, I shared it in one of the episodes and said that I once had, I think there was this a child that was about 13 and had high blood pressure. I mean, high blood pressure of 200 and something. So you can imagine, high blood pressure does not just happen to elderly people. High blood pressure happens to people, even younger ones, even children. And that is why it's important to check your blood pressure consistently. And I don't know how else to emphasize consistently, because a lot of things happen to people recently that they wish they had known, because by then it's too late and the kidneys are shutting down, the everything is just shutting down. But whenever you check your blood pressure consistently, it can help you, avoid some else occurrence that nobody is prepared for. Another part of health myth or traditional things we grew up believing that are not entirely true is most of the time, especially for adults, people believe that as an adult, there are certain health conditions that are not, that people outgrow. Yes, that's true. There's specific ages that people outgrow some health conditions. And some people believe that some health conditions are due to witchcrafts. Example is goiter. Goiter is a health condition that affects majorly women, and this is due to iron deficiency that is affect the thyroid gland and all. But the truth is, many people see that as a witchcraft. Is it witchcraft? Yes, witchcraft. Maybe someone has done something bad, and the feedback is a goiter, and some people believe it's just a boil. No, that this happened for. I remember a time a doctor just came into my place of work and was just checking one of our staffs randomly, and just for some reason just went to her neck. Now I didn't even as a nurse I didn't observe anything on her neck, but he just went to her neck and he saw that there was. He just observed and touched and started having this. He just touched the neck and said, something is going on here. And the lady did not even know anything was happening. Apparently, she was starting to have goiter, and thank God for the quick intervention. She was able to have a surgical procedure done, and she was fine. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that sometimes these health conditions normally are not things people just say that it's because of the great grandfather that you offended or something something. No, but these are real things that happen to people that you want to take cognizance. You don't want to take them lightly, such as goiter. Whenever you observe this, it's better to have it checked and be sure of what's happening to what's going on. Some other health traditional things that we grew up knowing, especially by our parents, is for women that whenever you're having painful menstrual cramps is due to taking too much sugary things. No, now this is like a deliverance because I had to experience this. I grew up having very prayerful cycle, and I remember it felt like I had sinned against God. I made prayers. I prayed it away. I prayed every prayer I could pray, but it wasn't working. And I remember then whenever I want to take sugary things or even just take a drink, and my mom is saying, you know that very soon you start rolling on the floor that your tummy is spinning you and all. And I had to start running away from sugary things. Now, sugary things are not meant to be taken in excessive, way, but at the same time this is not the major cause for menstrual cycle. And this is another thing, people have gotten so used to having painful menstrual cycles or something that they don't even know when a particular pain they're having is no longer about menstrual pain. It's already moving down to something else. For example, a person that is starting to, that is developing endometriosis can have severe menstrual pain and begin to have, very heavy flows and all that. Things like this they are not just things we take lightly. And the myth or the traditional thing that is being passed across is when you take sugary things, you start having pain. No, don't take every pain you have during your cycle as normal. And even for what's it called now, for even for adults too, it's not every pain you have in your tummy that is one thing or the other. And another part is every headache is malaria. Every feeling of tiredness is malaria. That's not the truth. The truth is, even if you're having headache and you're having this tiredness or whatever it is, you have to get checked and get to know what is happening to my body, what's going on, and take proper precautions, such as going to the hospital and complaining. I really would advise people to stop taking anti-malaria for every signs and symptoms they have. Go and buy malaria medications or give me all this, and taking over-the-counter medications. Over-the-counter medications are medications people just go to the chemist. I use the word chemist, not even pharmacy, chemist. And just say, please give me one or two. This is what I'm having. And before you know it, there are no proper tests done and they start treating blindly. My advice is whenever it comes to this, and especially when you have people around you telling you, it worked for my great grandmother, it won't be different working for you. We have these issues with our mothers when mothers are always saying that this is what I took and I grew up, I gave birth to you and nothing happened to me, nothing will happen to you. Well, a lot of things can happen to you if you don't take proper precautions and be sure that what you're doing is not just from what has been passed on to you, but we have a better understanding. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. So I would like to know, what exactly are the practices you have heard from your parents or from elderly ones that you believed all your life, but they are not true? I mentioned some right now, but you might want to share your experience on different ones that you've seen. Next time, we'll talk about this. Bye for now.